Good morning, buenos dias. It is May 19th, 2023. This video is going to be a little longer since it's been a while since I gave a update of what's going on in my little garden. I'm very happy about how things are starting to pan out. Some of my plans came out better than I expected, and others not so good. But I'm just amazed at how beautiful some of the plants have really performed. I was away for a little while, and I came back on Mother's Day to see that the mulching had been done. I had hired some folks to do some mulching while I was away, and they did the mulching, and it just makes everything look so much better, crisp. So let me start with this front yard. And the front yard here, as you can tell, is starting to really come into its own. So let me just give this view here, and this is how I had planned it originally, is that both sides of the fence would have a different look, but if you stood in the middle, it would all work together. And it's just the colors, the textures, it's just looking really beautiful. So on the front we have there's a spirea. Let me start on this side. So on the front side of this picket fence, we have the Little Devil 9 bark. So these are first edition plants. I just got a few of these at Walmart, honestly. I didn't even expect them to look so freaking good. So I'll talk about the side yard in a second. But they're in full bloom right now. They're just looking marvelous. Look at that. Beautiful. So these are dwarf 9 bark. They grow, according to the tag, they grow max 5 feet tall and 3 feet wide. So they're already past 3 feet wide. They'll probably be a little bit wider than that, but it'll be fine because it'll fill in the bed and will cover up the ground, avoiding lots of the weed problems that I have. I had cut back the lavender, and it's coming back now. Look how pretty. That looks so good. The juniper, the gold juniper, the lavender, and the 9 bark just looks so good. And if I turn the camera around this way, I had planted these little boxwoods next to that euonymus, euonymus. The gold euonymus is starting to flush out. It was chomped upon by deer. So I planted the boxwoods in case those give way to deer pressure. But everything looks really good together. Hollywood, my Hollywood juniper is starting to get a few little buds in there. You see it. It's looking really good. I have to stake that up. Okay, so I had put in some tulip bulbs, and they looked beautiful, and I kept the foliage just because they're Darwin tulip bulbs, and they'll come back next year, hopefully. So, but I think it's about time to cut these back. But let me show you something about the foliage on these tulips. They're like pink. Aren't they cute? They actually go, they don't look so bad with the soft blush blossoms of the 9 bark. And these little guys, these are the butterscotch, I think they're butterscotch euonymus. They're tiny, Japanese, they're really small, and they flushed out pretty good too after I gave them a nice little pruning earlier in this early spring. Behind it are the knockout roses, a gift that I received, and they're the pink ones. It looks kind of nice. So this sort of, the plants themselves are telling me what the color palette's gonna be. So initially I thought I'd have some red out here because I like red. But it looks like it's going to be more like blush and burgundies and pinks along with the purples and the yellows. Okay, so check this out. The alliums are about to burst. These are those really large alliums. Look how tall they are. Look at that. That's gonna look so pretty. The leaves, of course, look so funky. I gotta clean those up. But the tops are looking marvelous. Very nice, very nice. Okay, and behind the fence are the sunshine ligustrum, which I thought would be evergreen in my area, but they are not evergreen. They're deciduous in zone 7A, and they dropped all their leaves, so they were looking really great because they have like sort of thin branches. I didn't prune back the branches. I let them flush out because I didn't know how they would perform. I didn't want to stress them out, so I just let them do their thing. Maybe this next spring, early spring, I'll trim them back a little bit. Maybe even a little bit later on, I might snip off a couple of those spiky little things coming out of the shrub. But you know, basically, look at that. So pretty, right? So like I said, I surprised myself. I don't expect it to look this good. But I'm really, really pleased. Nature has its way. So here, the pansies are still going strong. Crazy. This weather here has been nuts. Nothing expected. And these are the little tiny spireas. These are baby spireas I planted last year, and they're starting to flush out nicely. These will grow up about 3 to 4 feet. I have some. This is I forget what this one's called. It's like a red flower. I have the ones with the pink flower, the Big Bang. I have them towards the back of this garden bed, and they are really, really super nice. These also will be beautiful. So I made a mistake and I didn't add a 9 bark on this side. So I went to Walmart and I purchased one. Same one as I had purchased before, the little devil. This is when you first plant it. It looks a little shriveled up. But, you know, next year it'll look wonderful, just like the other ones are performing now, their second year. And again, I have the lavender, little euonymus, and the juniper. And I added this little plant here. This is Veronica Speedwell. I believe that's what it is. I added those. I saw that. I forget where I got that. I think at Lowe's. And I got it at Lowe's. Was it Lowe's or Home Depot? One of those big box stores. And I just grabbed it. But it adds a little extra color over here. Ooh, my finger's in the way. Oh, nice. Okay. Here is the Mandina from Southern Living. This is the lemon lime. Again, I planted some of those humongous, I think they're called gladiator alliums. I purchased the bulbs from Color Blends. Hey, there goes my Blue Point junipers, are looking beautiful. On this side here, we have the lilac. This is a baby lilac I planted last year. It did not blossom last year. This year it didn't. It still smells wonderful. And I love it because I have a huge old-fashioned lilac that's been with the house like over 20 years, maybe 30 years, in the back of the house. And it blossoms first, and then this one blossoms second. And the blooms on this lilac are softer color, softer purple. It's wonderful. I love the fact that they take turns. So I have that beautiful smell for a very long time. Of course, the red twig dogwood, that's the halo with the variegated leaf, is loving its life. It just loves that location. It's just going to stay there, I guess, as long as I own the house. This is the candy tuft. Probably can shred it back a little bit so I could have another bunch of blooms, but it's really performed well. These guys, I have to find a home for them. They this is a silver mound artemisia. Oh, this is really dry. I mean, they're supposed to survive in dry weather, but I think this is way too dry. I have to find a home for these little roots. Hopefully they survive. Anyway, yeah, I gotta find a home for those. I wanted to put them in my hell strip because nothing grows in a hell strip. I'm redesigning it. Maybe I'll have time to talk about it later on, maybe in another video. So these front beds are looking great too. The phlox was like full purple. Now it's starting to, the blooms are starting to wane, but I love the texture of the plant, of the phlox. And that looks so good, right? Look at that. These are the tiny little daffodils are spent. I have to deadhead those. All these, the tulips, and these guys, what are they called again? Beautiful, for some reason. You know, those fall plants, they also need to be trimmed back eventually. Yeah, so this here is a very old daylily. They're just yellow flowers. They're starting to bloom that have been with this house since I purchased it. So these are really old. And they're around the old tree and I just moved them over here. Okay, so we're on 11 minutes. Kind of a long video. Look at the pinks, the dianthus. They're looking so good. The guys also gave a nice little trim to my barberry and my boxwoods. These two boxwoods suffered from I thought it was blight. I looked it up, but you know what this is? This is the winter burn. Well, it wasn't really winter, it was already spring, but it got cold and it got hot and it was crazy weather and it just confused these poor guys. So I'm gonna probably have to clip this back. Maybe it is a disease, but I don't think so. It's not really spreading anywhere else. I'm gonna clip that back. Oh, I purchased that little pot of fuchsia. Look how cute. I want to change out that plastic pot, but I haven't done it yet. My Uncle Joe, my Italian Uncle Joe, gave me, who's married to my Cuban aunt, gave me these wild strawberries from his yard, which I have to find a home for. Talk about that in a second because I'm planning to build garden beds in the back again. Look at those pansies. And these guys are still kind of yellow. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm giving it too much water. I fed them. I don't know. Maybe it's too much water. Maybe I have to change the soil inside. These guys are really old. I have to do something about that pot. Anyway, that there was a jasmine from last year, which I thought would come back. It didn't. I'm planning to look for another jasmine and see if it actually grows. If it doesn't, I'm going to give up. But even if it's an annual, that's fine. But you know, I have the pansies, and right below them, I have the petunias. Asparagus fern. Look at that. Pansies, petunias, osteospermum, the African daisies. Aren't these gorgeous? Look at them. Oh my God. Okay. Lamb's ear is doing great. More phlox, more dying tulip leaves. This is the sedum that's coming back, and I'm going to move it from this section because it gets too much water, and I keep on saying that I'm going to move it, but I haven't. I'm just waiting to do a couple other things before I move them, and I just don't give them any water. I avoid bringing the hose over here, but these little guys have fallen, and I just planted them up, and look, I got new babies. Okay, I just purchased this gal. She's doing good too. She got a little too wet. Oh no, this is another dianthus. That dianthus looks like it could probably be divided. I don't know if I want to divide it though. Maybe I will and just spread it around in the same area. Cryptomeria, hydrangea, that's the mountain hydrangea, tough stuff. Some smaller hostas, and here and underneath there I planted some bare root clematis, and they're the pink ones, some old-fashioned ones. These little hollies, they didn't make it. Well, I'm watering them to see if I can revive them, but look at them. Oh my God, this was just because of the hot and the cold, the rain, the hot, the cold, it couldn't handle it, I think. And so, I mean, they don't snap off, so I have a feeling that I might be able to revive them. And these hostas are doing great. Bulbo hydrangeas are flushing out. I had transplanted these last year to this area. The arborvitaes are doing good. My neighbors finally sort of corralled their garbage. Lady's mantle. And these were the plants that I got. Hold on, there's a helicopter. Small airplane. So these are the limelight hydrangeas that I got that looked really sad, that I got for like $15 each. I planted one on this side and one on this side. Now this one gets full shade, so I have a feeling I have to move her, because this lady here gets at least 4 hours of full sun and then filtered sun throughout the day, and it's doing much better. And the Brunera is looking good. Will still be as well. So yeah. Here is a spirea I was talking about. This is the Big Bang, and I added that third little bush because I love them so much. You know what I love? That they hide the tulip leaves. Look at these guys here. I gotta clean these up. Look what else is coming up. By the way, the Yoshino cherry tree is still doing good, even though it got last year a little damage from some bugs, and in the fall it got some damage from deer. Let's see what happens. This is the hardy hibiscus coming out, and these fill up this entire space. There are 2 of them. That's why I don't have anything planted around them. I tried planting some tulips so that during the spring, but the rabbits got to the tulips, either the rabbit or the deer, I don't know. This is the Rose of Sharon. This is the one that doesn't seed. It's from Proven Winners. It's like purpley. I forgot. I think it's called Purple Chiffon, something to that effect. And I planted that golden. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I had a bunch of stuff in my pocket. So I have the right names of everything, because I planted a bunch of stuff. And I want to make sure. Okay, here we go. So I planted a bunch of stuff, and I brought out all these. Where the heck is it? I think it's this one. Yep. That little guy there is a lemon burst arborvitae. Got it at Walmart, really cheap. First edition. And it's supposed to get 4 to 6 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet wide. So I needed some winter interest in this section because there was nothing here in the winter. And we'll go over these in a little second. I planted a lot. These are all new plants that I purchased. These plus many, many more. Okay, so here we go. Here's the Mugo pines I planted for winter interest. Because, again, this ligustrum, I think that's what they're called. No, yeah, the privets, the golden privets. These also are they control their seeds or whatever. They drop all their leaves in the winter, so this is bare. So I added these little Mugo pines to see if maybe they add a little life here in the winter. And Hinoki's doing good. So there we go. And this guy, I have to stake him. Now, she was getting really shriveled up in the summer in the heat. I've been watering her like crazy to like really get those roots established. Because I'm not going to move her. I think eventually she might get it. Once the tree fleshes out, she'll get enough shade. But I'm going to stake her up. Now here, I planted from seed. I started Corum's anemone corms, and then I was so happy. I had planted them out. They look beautiful. Some of these are okay, but with the hot and cold, wet, they just, and probably too much mulching, they just did not do well. They're not flowering at all. Maybe they'll flower next year. Got 3 little bushes. Okay, hyacinths. That's the word. Those are the hyacinths. Okay, and now those are the asters that are coming out. Little asters. Native to this area. There's some bees. These little bees. You know, I don't like bugs, but I'm happy that they're happy. And from everything I've read, I'm actually doing a good job at planting stuff that they like, and that's good for, you know, the world. Stuff that's good for the world. Let's go around the garbage cans here. So, these are little zebra dwarf. Oh, darn it. All my cards are starting to fall. Jeez. Okay. These are little zebras. Actually, perennial dwarf zebra grass, little zebra, Miscanthus sinensis, full sun. So this area has been a problem area. It just gets full sun. Terrific. I mean, terrible soil. So I think I got 5 of these at Home Depot for $25. They've been hanging out here, so I've been watering them, but you know, it's time to plant them already. And I'm gonna plant them here in a row, separated really far from one another so they don't look all nasty when they start drying out. I'm planning on planting those this weekend. But, they should look really nice in a row here between me and my neighbor. All right, what do we have here? We have the hosta. We have the peonies about to burst, and I tied them up on the bottom. I think maybe I tied them too tightly, but they flop. So the clematis that I planted last year, the Jackmani, are coming up. I have, you know, people don't like these winter creepers. I think they're great, and they add the winter interest here because this is pretty bare in the winter. Is this Coreopsis? I believe so. These are the drift roses, coral drift roses. Oh, and I got this guy. Yes, this guy here. So look how nice that looks too. It's really pretty, right? Okay, this guy, Penstemon Coral Baby. I got this at a nursery nearby. And it's native, and it likes dryness and sun, so I have to find a home for her. I mean, she might go in the front yard someplace. I thought maybe planting her in between the zebra grass. I don't know. Been looking, I haven't seen that combination, but they seem to thrive in the same kind of environment from what I've read. So it might be nice to add a little color next to the grass. I don't know. We'll see, but I have to get a few more of these. Okay. I have bugs all over me. The bugs love me now because I give them lots of goodies. Okay. So let's go to the back. If I can open this door. There we go. Okay, here we go. So I finally mulched these beds that have been open for way too long, for a year. I have no idea if these guys actually weeded underneath, but they mulched on top. That's good, right? That's good that they mulched. Anyway, so my grass is cut. I haven't done anything to it. I haven't treated it, nothing. But it's mowed down. It's fine. It's fine. As far as treating the grass, let's talk about that for a second. So I called one guy who said he was going to help me out. And then he didn't show up. He sort of like ghosted me. And then these guys, they mowed it, but I don't think they know much about maintaining a lawn. So I'm going to have to call one of those companies. One of those, lawn companies. Because I don't know. But I don't want them to use chemicals. So I'm doing a little bit of research before I do anything to this lawn that may not be good for the environment. Because that is important to me. So this is Hosta Heaven. I transplanted most of these hostas from other parts of the house. I had redone my backyard, and those hostas were all lined up by the house, and I dragged them over here, and look how pretty. And then these blue ones I got also from Walmart last year. They got some good prices. Walmart be surprising you. Anyway, that Astilbe. Where did I get that Astilbe from? That's a Chinese Astilbe. And I got it from, I want to say I got it from that nursery that I went to, Coppola Nursery, here in Edison. I don't know if it's Edison, South Plainfield, Piscataway, what area that is, but it's right in the border of those towns where I live. And I got that. Ooh, bunny rabbit. Oh no, Robin. Hey, little guy. He gets mad when I. Ooh, sorry for the camera thing. Let's see if we get little Robin. He gets mad when I'm in his area. He thinks this belongs to him or she. She might have a little nest around here. All right, so let's go through this a little bit. So we were fighting critters, and I don't know what happened. We definitely have the nasty guys. So I had to put some stuff out here to bait the nasty critters. I feel bad for chipmunks and other ones, but I have to, if it's rats, you need to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't live in a big city. I live in a suburb, but apparently, I guess the pandemic, I don't know, maybe they came from other parts of cities nearby. They invaded our area. And so everybody here is having a little bit of a problem with rats. But mostly they stay out here. Thank God I haven't seen any in my house. But I put some rat bait out. So in this area, you'll see it there because you see all those, I don't know if it's rabbits or rats that are making those holes underneath that fence. All right, so anyway, here we go. We got to talk about what is, you know. That is another Astilbe that's coming up next from last year that I planted. This is lungwort pulmonaria that I planted. I don't want to step around here because I planted a bunch of bare root Astilbe in here. I planted some columbine. Look at my old lilac tree. Now I had limbed this up. I had trimmed this. Those branches there were bare, completely bare. And the robins just flew by me. They're kind of mad. I think they must have a nest up here because they're acting a little aggressively. Okay, so anyway, those were completely bare, and I have a bunch of baby lilacs. I don't know what I'm gonna do. There's a baby lilac growing there. So look at my neighbor's poppies. Oh. That is a borrowed view. Look at those poppies. Bello. Beautiful. Now over there, that's a tree of heaven. Not there. And the lanternflies like that tree very, very much. So I'm checking it all the time to see if I see any baby nymphs. I haven't seen any lately, so I can kill them off. But they like that tree. They like that tree, and they like my lilac. All right. That looks nice, doesn't it? These bloomed out. They smelled so good when they were in full bloom. So look at here. Look at this. These columbine I did not plant here. These are naturalized columbine, but they look so pretty. I cut back a few because they were encroaching upon this old hydrangea that I've been nursing. This is, I think, the third or the second year that I have this hydrangea. I have 3 of them. They haven't done anything. They come out, they put on beautiful leaves, but they don't bloom. They're the old-fashioned kind that bloom on old wood, so I don't trim them back at all. But these columbine, what? They're on their way out. I have to start deadheading them. But I have dark purple, almost white, lavender colored. Look at that. So freaking pretty. Let me drop my bunch of papers. I just want you to see this. Holy moly. Look at that beautiful stuff. Look at that. Oh my God, I didn't plant these. This was nature. Nature brought these guys here. You believe it? In the middle, I think that's evening primrose. I think this evening primrose, that stuff is like, it's a weed. Look, let me call it what it is. It's all over the place. It's crazy invasive. I know it's native, but I had to get it out of almost all the beds. I left these back here because I know it's a good plant to have. And in my 50s, I heard that primrose is supposed to be very good for menopause symptoms, hot flashes, all that stuff. So, whatever. Let's see. My mom got this for me at the Family Dollar store. She's like, she knows I like gardening now, so she gets me all these weird little packages, which I have no idea what quality these are. Probably bad quality. But I planted these bare root, again, the columbine, or the aquilegia. I don't know how to pronounce that. Aquilegia, whatever. I planted the bare roots here someplace, so I probably have some red ones coming up next year. So that's a new thing I planted. There goes a little bit hydrangeas. And this is something else. I don't know. I think this is milkweed, which I'm sure people hate me because I cut back the milkweed, but I get so much of it, I can't describe. And I get butterflies. I do. Get beautiful butterflies. And it's nice, but I don't want all those plants everywhere when I'm trying to maintain this nice and neat. Work really hard. Anyway, so I keep them back at this fence because my neighbor doesn't mind having this, little wild look in the back. It's actually very beautiful. He has peonies too. He has the blush peonies, and he has these peonies. It's just so pretty. And his milkweed, I think, is blossoming. It's a really nice garden over there. It's very simple. He keeps his little compost pile here. Right here. And this lilac is dark purple. Little compost pile. But look, he grows his vegetables. I think those are rhubarb, along with his flowers. He's from Germany. And he is so good. He just comes second nature to him, I think. The gardening stuff. Okay, this video is going to be so long. I've never had a 30-minute video. I don't know who's going to be watching this. I guess it's for me anyway. All right, Nandinas again. Southern Living Obsession Nandinas. Wait till you see the Obsession Nandinas that I planted in the shade. They are going wild. Well, look, we have a couple of mushrooms here. I planted another clematis in that corner so I could climb up this fence. And these are the leaves from the daffodils. These are on their way out, my irises. Look how pretty though. This year they did fabulous. Last year they were like, wah, wah. But this year they just surprised me. And I guess each year they're gonna look better and better. And they go really well with this color of iris goes really well with the Obsession. See, like I said, surprise, surprise. I didn't really plan that. Arborvitaes are growing up and looking nice, my babies. Okay, so this guy here, this corner was all weeds. I think I did a video. And the grass is still weedy, but I took out some of them. I put some seed down. I don't know what's going to happen. I haven't done anything, so I just mowed it down. It's all right. It's okay. So, I keep telling myself it's okay. So this guy here, I bought this guy, and I want to get more of them, but I have such a small yard, I don't know. Okay, where is it? There it goes. This is a Proven Winners Storm Cloud Amsonia, and it's native, and it's so pretty. It's stressed out a little bit because when it was in a pot and I transplanted, but I think it's gonna look really nice here. I want to get something very tall in the back, so I planted over there. You'll see it. I may have to plant more, but I heard they self-seed where the heck are they? Oh, first time, these are hollyhocks. Charters double mixed over here. So they're supposed to be tall. I don't know. I'm trying things out one by one until I get to know how they perform. Okay, so this area was super, super weedy. There was nothing going on here, so I planted a bunch of stuff. So there goes a big fat bee or a wasp. Okay. Again, coral bark maple, looking good. I haven't really pruned it because I want it to establish itself. This is new. These peonies, they're, keep on wanting to call them Karl Lagerfeld, but they're Karl Rosenfeld, something like that. All right, I planted these little boxwoods and that arborvitae in the back, and I think once it fills in that corner, it'll prevent the weeds. Let's see. I'm stepping on stuff, and I shouldn't be stepping here because I planted stuff everywhere. Okay, so these are also from my Uncle Joe's garden. Those are the coneflowers, echinacea. I got these guys, the calabachoa in purple. They're doing okay. These guys are getting too much water because I water them. So I planted them too close to one another. So these are those Spanish lavender. That's loving its life here. I think this is just like dry. This is a weird area. It's dry, it has shade, it has full sun, and it has shade. It's a weird area. So anyways, but these guys, the sedum, are doing great. I think I just have to plant more sedum. So I'm experimenting with different types of perennials and annuals in this area to see what works here, okay? So like I said, I planted those back there. They seem to be doing good. Over there I planted the, that's a daylily that I planted back there. I don't know what I planted in that corner, something. And then here are the GM, the Avens. I have the card for that. Over there are the Roseanne, the hardy geraniums. I'm just gonna see if they do well. Like, they suffered a little bit because of the weather, I guess, or just being transplanted from their pots. They look kind of funky, but I'm gonna cut them back a little bit, see if they come back. And this guy too was in a pot for a long time, and I just put him right in there so it could fill up the spot. These alliums, these are different than the ones in the front yard, and they already blossomed very early. I got these are Longfield Gardens. I got them in a bag from Costco. Okay, annuals. I'm trying out the calabachoa, the pansies, the osteospermum, snapdragons, more osteospermum, and these are crocosmia. There's a bunch of corms in here of crocosmia. I don't know how they're gonna do. My blueberries in a pot, which already have like a couple of, look at that. So I'm going to talk about, in this area here, I'm going to plant some garden beds for vegetables, or like a mixed garden bed. The reason why I'm going to do it separate and mostly vegetables is just because I have to put up lots of protections from the animals, and I want to make the beds kind of tall so I don't break my back when I'm planting them. But it's going to be my first time planting vegetables and fruit, so let's see. This guy, dappled willow, is doing all right. So for some reason, the guys did not mulch this area, I guess because I have this different type of bark mulch, which is fine. Because what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to designate this for all like cut flowers, like that type of stuff, since I sort of started. These are the ranunculus, the dollar store ranunculus. Some survived, some didn't. Just the weather was crazy for them. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to plant them in the ground. Same thing with these marigolds. Some made it, some didn't. I have no idea what's growing there. I don't know. Okay, almost done here. So this is my Korean spice viburnum. Beautiful, love it. Here are these are the nandinas I want to show you. Look at these suckers. Those are Obsession nandinas. Look how tall they are. Oof. Is that a fly or a bee? Or I'm not gonna buy. Oh, that's a big fat fly. And my heucheras. This is shade. This is north facing. Is doing great. Azaleas are on their way out. Those were looking so pretty. That's the rock foil. Look at that big fly right there. Big fat fly. That's a hellebore. This is the heucherella. That guy should have planted in the front, but anyway, When they're little, I don't know what size they're gonna grow to. And we have back here, look at that. That's a longboard. That's living its life there. And another hellebore. The hellebores. This little bed here in the shade is so colorful and it's doing so well. Okay, so yeah. So this brings me, oh God, this video is so long. Hopefully I'll clip some parts out. This brings me to the final beds. And these are the beds that flank my fire pit and the patio area. Looking good. Again, tulip leaves that I'm leaving out. These are flirt nandina. Look at that. That's a little blue spruce, a dwarf blue spruce. Globosa. This is the rose that I planted, the Lady Gardner rose. More flirt nandinas. And my other little maple is my moon glow, whatever, something moon, harvest moon. Maple is looking good. I'm watering a lot as well. These guys, these were topiaries. They're Eugenia topiaries, and they did not do well. So I'm trying to revive them. I don't know, I might have to cut the whole thing back. Okay, so that's it for now. That's that weedy area that I fixed up with annuals and perennials and mulch. And I'm so excited about what I'm gonna do to fill in these beds. There's all these blank spaces that I'm looking forward to filling in, mostly because it'll help me with the weed problem. And all these beds over here, I know they're very narrow, and I know they should be a little deeper, but I really, whatever, it is what it is. I'll expand them as I plant them. I'm not gonna expand them now when I don't have any plants to fill this area up. I'm gonna get these power washed this weekend, the house and the fence. So what I want to do here, this is north facing, and it gets a lot of shade, and it's somewhat dry. So what I want to try to do here is put in those, what are those plants that I like? I forgot, October Magic. They have a bunch of different ones that I really like. I've looked at them, and I think they may be marginally hardy in 7A. I'm gonna try to plant at least one here and see how it does. What is it called? They make tea. Ugh, I hate when my brain does that. All right, so that's what I might want to plant here. I have no idea yet exactly what I want to do, but I'm still researching this area, which is south facing and dry. And it gets some sun in the afternoon from that area. Ooh, bug. Okay, so that's it for now, I think. Long enough video. And I'll do some shorter ones. Probably post them on TikTok and Instagram, my shorter videos. This is for my YouTube video diary, video blog, or whatever it is. So yeah, hasta luego. I gotta get to work.